Welcome to the Mitcham History Notes YouTube channel. Today's video in the Lost Pubs series is the Ravensbury Tavern, which was at number 169 Morden Road on the corner with Ravensbury Grove. In this photo, which was taken on 13th of May 1998, you can see that it was quite a big building. On the side in Ravensbury Grove, the signage says "Hospitality comes first," and below it, "Beer garden and barbecue." On the Morden Road side, the pub occupies 2/3 of the whole building, and you can see that there's a "To Let" sign. But what do we know about the history of this pub? Well, there's an old photo on the Merton Memories website, and the date is given circa, i.e. around 1900. However, a bit of research shows it to be earlier than that. If we zoom into the top of the corner, the first thing to note, it was called the Ravensbury Arms for some reason. And also there's the licensee name of John Dent. In the 1871 census on ancestry, John Dent is listed as the licensed victualler at the Ravensbury Tavern in Morden Lane. Why it was called the Ravensbury Arms at the time of the photograph, I don't know. But anyway, it was changed to Ravensbury Tavern, presumably to avoid confusion with the Ravensbury Arms over on the Common. In the 7th of October 1876 issue of the Croydon Advertiser, the licence of the Ravensbury Tavern was transferred from John Dent to Thomas Sayers. And in the 4th of November issue, it says that John Dent took up the licence at the Gorringe Park Hotel. So that gives us the date range then, doesn't it? The photograph is sometime before 1876 and certainly not around 1900. Also of interest in this photo is that it had been owned by Young's Brewery when it was called Young and Bainbridge. Moving on to 1903, and the licence victual records on Ancestry show that it was fully licensed and the owners were now Norder and Colliers from Croydon, and they were tied to that brewery for draft beer. The name of the licensee at the time was Richard Evans. He lived on the premises. 6 bedrooms were available for the public, and there was stabling for 1 horse. Bread and cheese was also available. In 1936, Norder and Collier sold the leasehold to Incoop and Allsop, and in the 1998 photograph you can see the Taylor Walker signage. The Taylor Walker Brewery had been taken over by Incoop in 1959. There's another photograph on Merton Memories, and there's no date mentioned here. The walls and the upper floors have been rendered, and we can see that the brewery owner is now shown as Taylor Walker, so the photograph is likely to be after 1959. There's a photograph of the licensees in 1967. This Mitcham News and Mercury report, dated 10th of February that year. The photograph shows on the left Charles Lawrence receiving a model dog from the Guide Dogs for the Blind Association, and his wife Pamela there in the middle. The story behind this photograph is: comedian Roy Castle visited the Ravensbury Tavern, Morden Road, Mitcham, last week. He presented a cheque for £250 on behalf of the patrons to Mr. Dermot Cuddy of the Guide Dogs for the Blind Association. He arrived at 10:30 p.m. after leaving Wimbledon Theatre, where he is appearing in the pantomime Babes in the Wood as Simple Simon. And from behind the bar with the licensee, Mr. Charles Lawrence, and his wife Pamela, he signed autographs and played several numbers on his trumpet. Mr. Cuddy thanked the customers in both bars and presented Mr. Lawrence with a model of a guide dog. The money was raised by donations over the bar during the past year. "It's the first time that we have collected," said Mr. Lawrence, "but it's been very worthwhile." The latest Ordnance Survey map on the National Library of Scotland's website is from 1973, and the pub was demolished around 1999, 2000, and replaced by this block of flats, as shown in this street view photograph of 2023. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed this little video about the Ravensbury Tavern. Do you have any experience of it? If you'd like to share, leave a comment and press that like button if you like the video. Bye for now.